It's very important that when we take our spiritual journey and we come to some real understanding as to truths and moments of enlightenment, that we still revert back to listening to experience, listening to our mentors, our teachers, to gain insight or deeper forms of insight into another layer of things that we already know. You see, what I've come to learn throughout my 30 plus years of diving deep into spirituality is that you can hear the same thing over and over and over again. And each time that you hear it, if you're really paying attention, you're going to gain something new from that same statement, that same sentence. Okay. And that is because your consciousness is expanding, it's evolving. And so now you're beginning to see things that you thought were just basic, simple, and plain. You're starting to see that there are deep layers to everything. Okay. So today I want to do something different. I'm actually wanting to listen to one of my mentors, the person that when I picked up his book along my journey, I realized what it is. I realized the trajectory. I realized I understood exactly the direction I wanted to go in as far as study and especially as far as sharing and teaching with others. So I'm going to share with you a video of Neville Goddard. Is really an audio. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to listen to it together. And then during moments, when inspired, I'm going to actually share with you my perspective. I'm going to elaborate on something that he says. And I really want to, because I was listening to this audio today and really felt like it was something that I wanted to share with you, that I feel like you should hear, because it's important not to just think that I'm the only person you're supposed to be listening to. I refer to many of my favorites. Neville Goddard is one of them. And I hope that you take that as an opportunity to go and explore for yourself, okay? Because this journey is really about not only exploration of other people, but mainly gaining the perspective and insights from other people that are going to spark a idea, right? A concept, an understanding for you, okay? Within you, about you. So let's get into it.
You are imprisoned by your present concept.
Okay, so already started. He says you are imprisoned by your present concept. Already, what he's talking about here is something that I've been talking about a lot lately, which is identity. Recognizing that your life, the restrictions that you think is placed upon you by God or the universe, is actually you placing them upon yourself.
You're not behind bars. You're going to go home tonight and sleep as the woman, as the man you really don't want to be. So you are in prison. Now looking to the perfect law, the law of liberty, and persevere. Do not only be a hearer of what to do it. And you will be blessed in the doing.
Okay, so here he talks about the importance of doing. Okay, you're not here to just think about and visualize and even imagine what it is that you want in life. You're not here to just simply fantasize about it, to wish it, right? To wish it to be. You're here to actually do. The doing is the making claim to it, okay? Being and doing is synonymous. They go hand in hand. They are one and the same. You don't look at a tree and say that tree, right, isn't being a tree. It's doing exactly what a tree does. So it is being a tree. It is taking ownership of that role. You don't look at an animal. You don't look at a duck, right? They say quack like a duck, walk like a duck. It's a duck. It is the doing of the identity that you wish to create, live, experience. Doing that, aligning with that, it is what that's going to create that reality for you. Okay?
That's what scripture teaches. Go home and read it. I am not misquoting. I am quoting accurately.
So he's referring to scripture. Neville Goddard uses the Bible, biblical scripture, to break it down from a metaphysical point of view. He was one of the first people that actually showed me the deeper essence and levels of the Bible and Christianity. Before Neville Goddard and before reading, I forget his name, Charles, I have the book up here somewhere, but I think it's behind me, but I'm not going to get up and get it. The Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Once I read those two books, I had a deeper understanding of the Bible, and I reference those books a lot. So Neville Goddard uses a classic, powerful piece of literature, right? The Bible, the most famous best-selling book of all time. And he pulls out and extracts the deeper knowledge within that, not just the superficial, literal layers of reading the Bible, but actually going deeper into what it truly means when you read, particular texts and chapters and what have you.
The Epistle of James in the New Testament. And this is the story that I'm trying to tell everyone in the world. He said, I am not in prison. No, we're not in prison. Not perfectly. But you are in prison. You today need money. And you say, Opera, I'm still not like the fellas who are behind in Sing Sing.
So he's referring to prison, that you are in a metaphysical prison, not a actual physical prison. And he refers to money being a form of prison that we all, most of us, tend to cage ourselves within. And so when you recognize you want more money, then ultimately that means, or it is comparable to a person who is in prison physically wanting freedom. Okay. The person who's in prison wants freedom because that's not what they have. That's not what they're experiencing. So you want money because that's not what you have. That's not what you're experiencing. Okay.
All right. You're not behind their doors, but you are still behind. Behind in rate, behind in this, and the dunning notes from all the places where you charge, you are behind bars. You can't seem to find the necessary sum to pay them. All right. Looking to the perfect law of liberty. That's the perfect law. Well, how do I do it? Rearrange the structure of your mind. The demagnetized piece of steel does not differ in substance from the magnetized, only the arrangement of its molecules. And then one lifts up enormous weights when it's completely one-pointed, and all these molecules face one direction at the powerhouse. The other is shattered. So let not the double-minded man think that you will in any way receive from the Lord your told. The same first chapter. If the double-minded man comes, who is unstable in all his ways, that he not think you receive anything from the Lord.
So he's talking about the double-minded man or woman, the double-minded person. And what he's referring to is the indecisiveness of reality, choosing your identity, thus your reality. And when you are double-sided, meaning you're not committed to one way, then you are essentially committed to no way. And your life is essentially going to be one of direction, but not intended, not with the clarity, not with the understanding as to who you are. The direction is basically a direction that is brought on by your subconscious, maybe like limiting belief systems, maybe your culture, maybe people who are around you all the time who have a more of a clearer idea of life, even if it doesn't prove productive or result in happiness. They are going to have a better or higher influence on you than you if you haven't made a decision, a clear decision as to what it is you want and who it is you are claiming to be at this very moment in order to attract and materialize and manifest that.
What could you give a man who doesn't know what he wants? I've gone into a restaurant just to prove this principle. Shadda, said to the waiter, "What would you like for a tip?" And he's embarrassed. I said to my friend, "I'll give him what he wants. Within reason, I'm not going to give him any $100 bill, but I give him, if he should be a $5 bill. He didn't order that which warranted a $5 bill. And he was embarrassed. And all he expected was exactly what he got. He just didn't know. He had no concept of putting something because he didn't know it, so how can you put it to the test? So I am telling you, you rearrange the structure of your mind. That's all you do.
So he's using the example of offering a waiter a tip and asking the waiter how much of a tip does the waiter want. Now, I would imagine most waiters would be thrown off guard because that's not something that's commonly asked. It's just a matter of waiting for the person to give you the tip and then you coming up with a conclusion whether or not that tip is good enough. After a while, of course, waiters get a sense of what's a good tip and what's not a good tip by just averaging things out. But it's a very important point that the waiter should know his or her worth as a waiter. So they should be prepared, just like you should be prepared if I would say, how much for you to sit and talk with me on this particular topic, right? Essentially coaching. Because I know that you have an expertise or an experience in it that can give me some kind of knowledge or wisdom that I can take with me as I myself kind of walk through a similar situation or path. And so if I ask you, right, what would you want for this? Meaning, how much do you think this is valued at? How valuable is this? Okay. Not how valuable it is to you, but how valuable do you think this is to me that I should give you the money for it? In other words, say you are selling a course, right? Say you are deciding you're going to write a book or you're going to just start any business. And most people, what they do is they look at everybody else's businesses that's similar to it. And they say, everybody's charging this. This is what we're going to charge. Instead of saying, I want to charge this, and we're going to make sure that our product or our service matches the quality of that price. So we are making claim to the price first, okay? And then we're following up with the service or the product that meets that quality. And so you have to have a clear idea as to worth for you. What is the worth of your time? What is the worth of your effort? What is the worth of your energy, your focus, right, of you? So that way, that already sets a tone for your reality, for your experiences, for your world. You see, just like when you go to a job, most times you go to a job and you look at what that job is offering rather than telling that job what you're worth. You see, and then making a claim to it, saying, this is why I am worth this much. Okay. And then actually demonstrating that, actually being that. Okay. It goes the same way in relationships. It goes the same way as far as health and money. You have to make sure that you claim your worth in any room, environment, atmosphere that you walk into.
It doesn't differ from Einstein's mind. It's only one mind. There's only one God. There's only one Lord. Listen to it. One body, one spirit, one hope, one Lord, one praise, one baptism, one God and Father of us all, who is above all, through all, and in all.
So now what he's talking about is this understanding that we are all one mind. So there are no persons that are more valuable than you, okay, that can bring as much value, as much love, as much, impact as you. We are all connected to the same thing. We are all the same, right, to that basic degree. The problem is we make assumptions and comparisons that, oh, this person does this and they're better than me and I don't have as much to bring as they do. That's false. Okay. You just simply have to tap into the understanding that they are from the same thing that you are from. And though it may show differently, you may have different talents, your talent in that particular thing is just as beautiful, valuable, and as amazing as their talent. And so when you get down to that very essence of recognizing the source, right, that you are from the source, that you are of the source, that you are the source, then you begin to recognize your worth and make claim to things that you recognize as, you know, um, up to par. And you feel satisfied with when you receive that kind of value or that kind of thing.
If you continue at the same one, with the one body, the one spirit. So I'm not using a different mind. It's the same mind, but differently arranged. Go into one room and you see that someone doesn't know what to do with their furniture. Bring somebody who knows how to set a room.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude with this part. So he says, even when it comes to, as an example, the arrangement of the furniture in your room, sometimes people go in and they have no idea how to arrange their furniture. The furniture is a metaphor for life, how to arrange different aspects of your life, right? Your bedroom, your bed, basically the foundation of where you're going to spend most of the time in your house, right? So you're thinking about how to arrange all these different things to make sure that that environment is most comfortable for you. The same thing applies to life. You want to make sure that all of the things that are important in life are arranged particularly in alignment and customized to your desires and what you want and what you feel is important. Now, with the arrangement of rooms, you'll find that a lot of people change the arrangement of their room. Why? Because as they get older or they expand in consciousness, they recognize that they rather maybe have it this way or that way or, this direction or that direction. Same thing with life, right? You grow up in life, you have this idea, okay, this is the kind of relationship I want. This is the kind of money, or this is how I want to make my money. This is the kind of job I want, a career. You go through that, you live it for a minute, and then you realize, nope, it doesn't really resonate with me. And so you change, transform that relationship, maybe dissolve it, get another relationship. You recognize that career, that job doesn't resonate with you, so you change it. Get another career, maybe start a business, but you continue to move things around in a way that aligns with who you are. That's the essence of manifestation. You understand that we all have the ability to manifest happiness, fulfillment, joy, right? Success. But the arrangement of it depends on your awareness of you. So when you actually get into self-awareness, listening to yourself, then it's really a matter of making these adjustments, right, throughout your life to align with that inner voice. Okay. So really what we're talking about is the beginning of manifestation, recognizing that you take the power, right? You must take ownership and you must claim the power of your ability to arrange your life, arrange situations, arrange relationships, right? And make sure that they fit you. When you take ownership of that, because most times people go through life trying to fit in, when in actuality, everything should be fitting into you. You should be fitting things around you, not you fitting around it. And so that's what we're talking about. That's the foundation of what we're talking about. You make claim to how you want to live your life, the life you want to live, who you wish to be, right? Who you desire to be, because essentially that is who you truly are deep down, and it is fighting, yearning to come out. And so when you start owning and you start arranging life accordingly, taking ownership of your environment, essentially your universe, that's when manifestation begins to have a strong foundation for you. And that's when you begin to actually lay the work, you begin to lay the foundation for you to actually create and manifest the life that you are destined to actually live. So we're going to conclude here. Please let me know if you enjoyed this, if you thought this was cool, if you thought it was a good idea, if you enjoyed it. But also, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to learn more about aligning yourself with what I like to say, the version of you that has it all, right? Your future self, feel free to go to futureselffrequency.com and purchase the Future Self Frequency Bundle. And this bundle includes a book, a journal, and also a digital component template, which will allow you to actually align with the version of you that has it all in a matter of 30 to 90 days. Okay. So make sure you go to futureselffrequency.com. Thank you so much. Peace and abundance always.